Nebraska flag.
And it's time for some SEC football, baby.
On Raycom Sports.
What a great time to be in the Commonwealth. The horses are running at Keeneland. And last night, the Kentucky Wildcat basketball team made their debut in Midnight Madness. And, of course, the Kentucky football team looking for a third consecutive bowl trip. Today, will play host to South Carolina. And another full house on hand to watch their big blue football team embark on an SEC football Saturday. It's our all-tell game of the week right here on Raycom Sports. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I am Dave Neal. So glad you can be with us. It is a beautiful day for some Southeastern Conference football, and we've got an outstanding matchup. Two SEC Eastern Division teams that are chasing, yes, the Vanderbilt Commodores. When you look at the SEC standings, Vanderbilt sitting atop. Folks, Tennessee is at the bottom. We have never seen this. Remember, they split into divisions in 1992, and here Vanderbilt is trying to go 6-0 against the Mississippi State team later today. Well, these two clubs certainly looking to move up those SEC East standings. And Dave Archer, as we begin to talk about South Carolina, the biggest question is, it seems like they've settled on Chris Smelley at quarterback. Is that position settled?
Well, I think it's always a fluid situation at quarterback for Steve Spurrier. He's had three guys play at quarterback. Two have started. Tommy Beecher started the season, but Chris Smelley has come on. He rescued this football team in week 1 against North Carolina State with 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter, and he has started the remainder of the games. And none better than his performance last week against Ole Miss, SEC Player of the Week. 334 yards in the air, 3 touchdown passes. It looks like Coach Spurrier's found his quarterback.
Well, certainly Chris Smelley, a guy that needs to quit throwing some interceptions. I think that'll get him into certainly good graces of his head coach. He'll also have to dodge and move around a very good Kentucky defense. We haven't talked about it very often over the years, but these guys are among the best in the country.
They've changed the idea what Kentucky football is all about. These young kids came in 4 years ago and were kicked around, moved around. They had a chance to play together. They've gotten better. They're physical. They're mean up front. It's a great defensive line. This is a solid defensive crew that have grown up together. The numbers reflect that. Steve Brown's defense gotten better each and every year as these kids have gotten older.
And they give up less than 8 points a game. That is #1 in the entire country. Let's take a look at our Toyota Keys.
Steve Spurrier wants consistency on offense. This is a team that leads the SEC in third down conversions, but have given up 20 sacks, which is second worst in the SEC. Need some consistency offensively. And for Kentucky, they've got to find a running game. Joker Phillips, the offensive coordinator, says to win in the SEC, you've got to be able to run the football. 4 different Wildcats will get a chance today to carry the ball.
SEC football is presented in high definition where available by Raycom Sports. And a good day to be in high def as temperatures will be in the low 80s. The sun is out, not a cloud in the sky. Two teams that desperately need a win to stay in the picture in the Southeastern Conference race. South Carolina won the toss. They will defer, so Kentucky will get the football first. Ryan Suckup will kick it off. Alfonso Smith and Derek Locke back to return for the Wildcats in their all blue. South Carolina in their all white. And that kick is 8 yards deep in the end zone. Locke will take a knee. As always, the third member of our team kind of making a home game with us. Dave Baker's down the field. Buzz.
Hey, Dave, great seeing you all again, and great to have everybody with us. You know, Steve Spurrier has had a lot of success against a lot of people in the SEC, but nobody more than Kentucky. He's 15-0 against the Cats, and the biggest reason South Carolina has been successful against Kentucky in recent years is turnovers. Last year, Eric Norwood picked up 2 fumbles, brought it back for touchdowns. Kentucky put it on the ground 4 times last year against South Carolina. Rich Brooks says that ball security, the big key for his club today.
We'll see what'll happen. It just seems like Kentucky runs into some tough luck against this South Carolina team. Hartline, your quarterback. Derek Locke, your tailback. First handoff comes near side to Locke. He's got the corner, picks up about 8 on the play. Chris Culliver runs him out of bounds. Let's take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups.
Dickie Lyons is the leading receiver on this football team. He's one of those guys that came back from that explosive offense last year. 31 receptions already on the year. He's the guy that Hartline will look to. Gary Williams, an anchor at that left tackle spot. You need that. This is a real good pass rushing defense South Carolina has. Williams anchors that left side, the blind side of Hartline.
Well, you look at Mike Hartline. 6'6", 205 pounds. Says he's put on about 15 pounds since he's been here. Throws that over the middle, hits Locke. That's out over the 30, and that'll be a Kentucky first down. Jasper Brinkley in on that tackle. Our Budweiser starting lineup defensively for South Carolina. And boy, this is a good group under Ellis Johnson.
Well, they fly around on defense. Nathan Pepper up front. It's a group that's very fluid up front. They change, mix and change, go to 5 down. Eric Norwood's the guy that rocks down in that spot. Darian Stewart, an extra defensive back, plays that 5 defensive back set. Emmanuel Cook, the best tackler one-on-one in the SEC, 41 solo tackles.
Out of his 51 he has on the year. Handoff goes to Locke off the left side. Marvin Sapp to make that tackle. You know, we talk about Derek Locke getting the start today. And it's an interesting dynamic here. They want to run the football in Kentucky. Everybody wants to run the football, but it has been a hot topic of conversation about trying to find somebody, anybody, that can carry the football, and it looks like Locke is that guy today.
Well, you've already seen the running back touch the ball 3 times. Locke's touched the football, Dave, to open this football game, and a first down the first 2 plays.
And here's a little keeper from Randall Cobb. He gets stuck right about the 43-yard line. That's going to be close to a first down. Culliver and Cook, the 2 safeties, finally bring him down. And the flag has been dropped right at the point of contact.
One of the change-ups they want to get to is Randall Cobb, the true freshman, comes in to play quarterback for Heartline to get that running dimension. Cobb, a tremendous athlete, Mr. Football in Tennessee last year at the 2A level.
The result of a play is the first down. After the play was over, late hit, number 73 of the offense. The penalty is 15 yards. It'll be first and 10.
That's our referee, Ken Williamson. Let's hope we don't have to talk to Ken. Not that we don't like Ken a lot, but let's hope we don't have to see him very often. Our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Look at the winning streak Steve Spurrier has over Kentucky. It is the actually 3rd longest, second by a coach. Of course, Joe Paterno up there at 25-0 against Temple. 49 of his wins have come against Temple and Maryland. First down at 10 as Kentucky is backed up to the 28-yard line. Cobb. He's pushed back. They'll lose another 4 yards on the play. Actually give him a 2-yard loss as the spot is right just outside the 25-yard line. Darian Stewart, the Spur, making the play.
Well, and there's the flexibility of this defense. Darian Stewart, who's actually a defensive back. He's a safety, but he lines up at a linebacker spot. A lot of flexibility. Slide out with that motion. Cobb came across in motion through the quick screen. He fought through the Dickey Lions block and made the play.
Now it's 2nd down and a long 12, short 13. Kentucky has been okay in 3rd down conversions, which they will look at right here as that pass is batted up in the air. Adi Ajiboye deflected that pass.
South Carolina comes with pressure. All 3 linebackers. 2 linebackers come. Brinkley comes and Stewart comes off the edge. But an excellent job of diving and tipping that ball away. He was waiting. There's Norwood, one of the backers coming. He's a guy that's a hybrid, Dave. He lines up at linebacker, but last year was a defensive end. Great pass rusher. Actually just 2.5 tackles for loss away from the all-time South Carolina record. Got 32.5 tackles for loss in his career already at South Carolina.
So a timeout taken by Kentucky. And we will take it with the Wildcats with 12:14 to go in the opening quarter. Back to Lexington in a moment.
The All-Tel SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Chick-fil-A, by Advance Auto Parts, by Ruby Tuesday, by Chevrolet, by the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, and by Crystal.
You know, we're redoing a kitchen, Art, so I didn't have a chance to get to Keeneland. I don't think the wife would have been too happy about that. I don't think the wife...
You need every dime.
Yes. Rich Brooks, boy, as he turned the program around here. It took a while, but he stayed the course, and he has done a wonderful job. Contract extension through 2011. On 3rd and 13. Pass is caught by the tight end, Grinner, and he is hit immediately by Darian Stewart.
Darian Stewart already all over the field and creates Mike Hartline a problem. He's trying to get the ball late, a little delay to Grinner coming out of the backfield, and so South Carolina's risen up here defensively and forced the punt.
Captain Munnerlyn back to return the punt of Tim Mastay, who's averaging 44.8 yards a kick. He's a long of 57 this year. Good high spiral. Munnerlyn will take it at the 23. And a loose football. And I believe South Carolina was able to fall on it. A 46-yard punt, but a close call by the Gamecocks. And we'll check out that South Carolina offense of Steve Spurrier when we come back after a word from your local stations. Is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Well, there's the 2008-2009 edition of the Kentucky Wildcat basketball team honored here today before the game as they get set to embark on a new season, the second year under Billy Gillispie after they made their 17th consecutive trip to the NCAA tournament a year ago. South Carolina on first down, hands it off to Mike Davis. He will get maybe a yard on the play. Trevard Lindley brings him down. Let's take a look at our Budweiser starting lineup for the Gamecocks. And good news for Gamecock fans is number 11 seems to be healthy.
Well, Kenny McKinley is closing in on all the South Carolina passing records, and he'll be a featured guy today. And this is an offensive line that's kind of in work. Jamon Meredith playing guard today, played tackle. He's been all over the place, but Chris Smelly is the guy they're hanging their hat on now. Played extremely well last week.
7 and 4 as a starter is Smelly. He will throw for the first time today and through the hands of McKinley. You will not see that very often. Kenny McKinley generally catches everything within a couple of yards of his body. Take a look at the Kentucky defense and our Budweiser lineups, and what a good front four this is.
This is as good a defense up front as you'll see in the SEC from a physical standpoint. Jeremy Jarman plays the edge, and this linebacker core big and nasty. Braxton Kelly slides to the outside from the middle. Trevard Lindy, 32 consecutive starts at corner.
3rd down and 8. Smelly to throw. The long out. Is it caught? Yes, it is. First down, South Carolina out at the 45-yard line. That goes to Jared Cook, the tight end.
Won't see a better pass receiving tight end in the country. Jared Cook working the slot route, working against McAtee, the defensive back. It's a kid that got a little bit of an ankle tweak last week, missed a couple days of practice, but he's back on the field. Tremendous pass-catching tight end.
Averaging almost 16 yards a catch for a tight end. Here's Davis. To the 47.
You know, Dave, South Carolina wants to run the football. Mike Davis is the guy that they feature, but really it's run the football to set up their passing game. Coach Spurrier's always been a guy that likes to throw it. He's got a guy that's playing at a high level, confident in throwing the football. But Mike Davis is a guy they'll sprinkle in on some draws, screens to try to keep that Kentucky Wildcat defense honest, and then they want to throw it.
Winston Guy checks in for Kentucky. A nickel package defensively for the Wildcats here on 2nd down and 8. Smelly to throw again. This time McKinley holds on to the football down to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Trevard Lindley with the tackle.
That's a great matchup between two all-SEC type performers, Lindley and Kenny McKinley. We talked to Steve Brown yesterday, and he said, I guarantee you, wherever number 11 lines up for South Carolina, Lindley's going to be there.
That handoff goes to Bobby Wallace, who scoots it inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Bobby Wallace, a senior out of Conway, South Carolina. His 12th carry of the year. both these teams are very similar in what they do. They good defenses this year. They're both trying to find some sort of running game. Their offensive lines are kind of a work in progress. So many similarities between these two clubs as we were breaking this one down.
Exactly right. And it's very different for Steve Spurrier to have a defense ranked near the top of the SEC.
There goes Wallace again, close to our yellow line, first down line. Micah Johnson, that middle linebacker, back in that lineup.
You know, and talking about what you're talking about there, it gives Coach Spurrier a little bit more flexibility, Dave, on what you're going to do offensively. You don't necessarily have to gun it every down.
Boy, a quick snap by South Carolina, and Smelly falls forward. Should have the first down close to the 30. Kentucky came in here second in the conference in opponent third down conversions, giving up just 25%. Opponents were 19 out of 75. And picking up the third down, but South Carolina's done well today already.
Well, and the counter to that is South Carolina leads the league on the other end on offense at converting. So you have the two of the best playing against one another.
South Carolina converts at a pretty amazing 47% clip. 38 out of 81 coming in. Here's Smelly going up top. That pass is incomplete, looking for Mo Brown. David Jones on the coverage.
It's a two-man route that time. If I tried a little stop and go out there, didn't work out. Good job by Kentucky to rise up defensively on first down.
As a former quarterback yourself, what do you like about Chris Smelly? What catches your eye?
Well, I think that the thing that you've got to love about him is he's been resilient, because you know he's been under the gun with the in and out type of stuff that goes on as a quarterback with Steve Spurrier. He's stayed the task and has come out on the other end of it, and now looks like to be the guy.
Second down and 10 out of the I formation. Nowhere to go for Mike Davis. A lot of blue jerseys. Corey Peters and then Trevard Lindley. Jeremy Jarman also getting in on the action.
We mentioned from the start, Dave, this Kentucky team up front, their front seven is as good as you'll see across the SEC. They're big, they're physical, and they played together for a long time. There's Steve Brown right there, defensive coordinator for Kentucky, does an outstanding job.
Third down and 13. Incomplete. The Wildcats will hold.
And credit Kentucky in that area where they wanted to run the crossing route. A lot of Kentucky Wildcat defenders standing in the area and really muddied the water for Jared Cook to try to fight across. And you see Steve Spurrier's anguish. They don't convert on third down.
This will be a 50-yard field goal by Ryan Suckup, the senior out of Hickory, North Carolina. 11 out of 14 in field goals. One of the best in the country. And he missed it left. Boy, he hammered it, but just pulled it left. Kentucky holds. They will have the football when we come back. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Folks, I'm telling you, I don't know that there's a better day for football than what we have right here in Lexington, Kentucky. It is a great crowd. They're into it. And we've got two pretty good teams going at it. But look at that drive. 12 plays, over 4 minutes, and nothing to show for it for the Gamecocks. Hartline hits it to Derek Locke. Eric Norwood drags him down. Dave, Eric Norwood's been moved around so much. He's a big linebacker, a small defensive guy. What do you make of him?
Well, he's a tremendous, first of all, he's a tremendous football player. He's a baller, as they say, when he gets on the field. But he has great ability to play both. He can rush the passer, but he's fast enough to play linebacker and run down running backs in the flat like you just saw on the lock screen.
He always seems to be around the football. Of course, last year with a couple of fumble returns for touchdowns against this Kentucky team. Here's Locke. He'll take it out over the 35. They will spot it at the 37-yard line. And the man we just talked about, Eric Norwood, picks up his second tackle of the afternoon.
Nathan Pepper
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by IKBI Incorporated, Igby, building vision, building relationships.
This Kentucky team has had a tough time converting on 3rd down. Just 35% coming in. 5 of 16 last week against Alabama.
Wildcats need 6 and won't pick it up as Hartline threw it at the shoe tops of Derek Locke. That's a play Kentucky loves. They love to use that screen with their running backs, but Hartline just threw it too low, and that'll bring up a punting situation.
Looked like the big defensive end, Clifton Gathers, got his hands in the air, or his helmet in the air, the 6'7" nephew of Jumpy Gathers. Jumpy played the National Football League.
Jim Mastay will punt it away. His first punt traveled 46 yards. Captain Munnerlyn back to return it. It's a wobbly kick as they kick it away from Munnerlyn, and he will let it go. That will roll inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line. So a 56-yard punt for Mastay. Well, fans, get your cell phones ready. Time for our weekly interactive feature called the Alltel Text of War. We want your answer to this question. It's pretty simple. We did this for Dave Archer. Which team do you want to win the game? Text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. We'll update the results later in the half. Trying to keep it simple. That's all. 5:31 to go in the first quarter. Bobby Wallace in alongside Smelly, who's in the shotgun. Boy, all day to throw for Smelly. Good coverage downfield, looking for Wallace. Incomplete. Micah Johnson, the linebacker, chasing Wallace out of the backfield.
Steve Spurrier asks a lot out of Chris Smelly. Chris Smelly's one of those guys that, as a quarterback, is going to have to read a lot of coverage. Expects decision making, and that's where he is not quite sure whether he has his guy yet. He wants those 2 or 3 decisions that end up going against the quarterback in a game, just to dress that up. And you're always following the ghost of Danny Werfel, a guy that played so well for him at Florida. So whatever quarterback lines up for him always has to measure up to that standard.
Wide open was Bobby Wallace, and Smelly missed him. There was a breakdown in the coverage, and that could have been a huge play. Let's check in with Dave Baker.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I think the fastest 20-yard dash I've seen all day long has been Steve Spurrier, who, when that ball was that far overthrown, he broke into a quick sprint, and as you can see, he's still walking down the far sidelines. He can't believe it. The one thing Steve Brown told us yesterday, Arch, was you can't let Smelly get his first look or get into a rhythm, and that's what the Cats have been able to do so far, as evidenced by that pass, which should have been a big completion.
Yeah, no question about it. He came in with a ton of confidence. The best way to take that away is make the first couple of throws tough on him. Kentucky's done that.
Smelly will throw again. Well, go to your bell cow, and Jared Cook, your tight end, will make the catch for you. That's been proven. Ashton Cobb brings him down, but Jared Cook at 6'5", 240 is just a tremendous receiver.
You got to get pressure on the quarterback. They do, but Smelly does a nice job with the pressure from Peters in his face. But you said it, Dave. You're going to find a guy. Go find Jared Cook. 3 catches for 88 yards last week. He had 111 yards against Vanderbilt on 8 catches earlier in the year. He is a big-time receiver.
Yeah, had a 63-yarder last week against Ole Miss as well. Over the middle, pass is dropped. They'll say loose football, no whistle on the play. And now we get the signal. That's one of the things, I think, points of emphasis this year among our officiating crew is the fact to let the play happen. Don't be so quick with the whistle in case it is a fumble, perhaps.
And they did a nice job of seeing this one right away, Dave. He never ever secured the football. Wesley Saunders coming in the middle. The linebacker, just in between the linebackers, hooks up in the hole, and he just could not squeeze the football. Good call by the official.
2nd down and 10. By the way, Chris Smelly's now 3 out of 9 for 36 yards. He will loft it up. looking for Joe Hills, sophomore out of Palmetto, Florida, guarded closely by Trevard Lindley. Well, Smelly just doesn't seem on, is I guess the easiest thing to say about it.
Well, you got to credit Kentucky. What they're doing is they're coming up and playing press coverage, which means none of the releases are easy releases, trying to throw the fade. If I'm going to throw the fade, I'm probably not going to go at Trevard Lindley.
Another third down. South Carolina picked one up on their last 3rd and 10. It's taken away. Stolen by Trevard Lindley. Touchdown, Kentucky. You just said, don't throw it Lindley's way.
This is a tremendous effort by Lindley. He's man coverage. He's inside technique, one-on-one with McKinley. And he's just going to take the football from him. And then it's clear sailing into the end zone. That's his 8th career touchdown, his 3rd on the year. He's the guy, if you have to make a choice, you're probably, and you don't want to throw it in his direction.
Point after is up, and it is good. It is 7-0 Kentucky here in the first quarter. We will return after this message from the SEC. Kentucky leading South Carolina 7-0 after Trevard Lindley grabs his 3rd interception of the season, his 8th of his career, and takes it to the house. Just ripped it right out of the hands of Kenny McKinley. Mastay will re-tee it. You know, we were joking with Steve Brown, the defensive coordinator of Kentucky, yesterday in our meetings about Trevard Lindley has so many passes broken up, 29 coming into the game, and we're like, well, yeah, he's broken them up, but what about the interceptions? And he jokingly says, yeah, we'd love him to have a few more of those and hold on to them. Well, there you go, Coach.
No question about it. He said he did not want Lindley to get out of here as the top pass broken up guy. Right. He would like to see him get a lot of interceptions, and he took one there back to the house.
Captain Munnerlyn a yard deep. Captain tries to get to the outside. He does so. Mastay trying to chase him down. Will knock him out of bounds at the 16-yard line. What a big-time return by Captain Munnerlyn that goes 84 yards, and now South Carolina's knocking on the door.
Munnerlyn does a good job of getting behind the wedge. There's enough separation behind the wedge. A missed tackle right there. And this is a tremendous return by Munnerlyn. But how about the speed of Mastay, the kicker, to come back and make the play? He saves a touchdown. Let's see if the Kentucky defense now can come in and make a stop. Great play for South Carolina on the return by Munnerlyn.
What a momentum swing. Wow, now Smelly gets to come right back out. See what he does after that INT. Lofts it up to the corner. McKinley, touchdown. That's what he does. Throws for 6.
Dave, I think coming into this series, 3 for 11 throwing the football, this is the best throw he's made today. He threw this in a coffee can. This is a tremendous throw on the corner route. Does a good job of getting it up on time. McKinley runs a good route for him, and look where he put the football. Nobody could have caught that other than Kenny McKinley working against Robbie McIntyre.
Boy, that was an outstanding throw by Chris Smelly. You know, you mentioned, I asked you, what do you like about him? And you talked about him mentally being able to handle some of the pressure put on by his coach. Well, he throws the INT for an interception and comes back and picks up a touchdown. We are tied at 7. We will return to Lexington after this from the Southeastern Conference. All right, that took about all of 30 seconds to get 14 points on the board. 14-13 to go here in the opening quarter. And Kentucky will bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Let's go back and look at that touchdown, Dave. This from the ground level. Good protection up front, and you could see there's a tight area he threw that ball in McKinley to. Just a tremendous throw. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Arch, couple of quick points about that touchdown. That's vintage Steve Spurrier. People wonder how Steve Jr. will call plays compared to his dad. That's what the old man's done for years. But what confidence it shows as well. They go right back to Smelly and right back to McKinley, who had the ball stripped away that led to the Kentucky touchdown.
Well, that's a great call. Went right back to the two guys that are going to have to make plays for him today for them to have a chance to win.
Randall Cobb in at quarterback. He will throw it. And the pass is caught by Dickie Lyons. And Dickie Lyons Jr. picks up a couple. Carlos Thomas runs him out of bounds. But here's Randall Cobb, the freshman, true freshman out of Alcoa, Tennessee, coming from an excellent program where his high school won 4 state championships, 2A Mr. Football in Tennessee. And basically, Rich Brooks tells us he's a guy that you just got to get him to football somehow, some way.
Well, you see this line up a quarterback and then slid to a receiver spot. That's how important he is to this football team.
Hartline out of the shotgun. Adeyemi hit by Jasper Brinkley right about the 25-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down.
Brinkley back after a knee injury last year. Injured his knee early in the season. Does a great job of playing in the middle. Makes a tackle on the young freshman wide receiver, but you got to be able to read as a linebacker and close and make a play. A sure tackle. Excellent job that time by Jasper Brinkley.
So Brinkley heads to the bench on this 3rd down and 5 for Kentucky. Hartline over the middle. That pass is picked off. Tipped into the hands of Chris Culliver, who sets up the South Carolina offense at the 33-yard line.
Great job of closing on the football by Stoney Woodson and Emmanuel Cook. The throw down the middle. Good pressure up the middle. That makes the quarterback not be able to pull the ball down on target. And then a good job in the secondary. Emmanuel Cook and Stoney Woodson. Cook got his hands on the football. And Culliver comes up with the interception.
So Hartline throws his 3rd interception of the season. And of course, Chris Culliver, the guy was a wide receiver a year ago, going to hold on to that football. You see what Kentucky has done with their turnovers. And here's McKinley on a reverse. And he gets bumped out of bounds at the 22-yard line and flagged down at the 30. And that'll nullify what was a 9-yard pickup by South Carolina, which would set them up at 2nd and 1. And now they're going to be backed up, looking at a 1st and 20 situation.
Holding on the offense, number 4. 10-yard penalty from spot the foul. Repeat 1st down.
Well, nothing like it, presented by Crystal. You know, we talk so much, and I've been coming here a long time, but we talk so much about how rabid these fans are about their basketball team, but often overlooked is how passionate they are about their football team. They've been clamoring for some success. In the last 2 years have been 8-win seasons, and these people are loving every second of it. No pun intended. Or nothing like it. A wobbly pass that was nearly picked off by Braxton Kelly. Did he get it? No. He held it up for a moment like he had it, but Kelly hobbling the football as he hits the turf, and Steve Spurrier seems to be a little bit more frustrated than usual.
Excellent job by Braxton Kelly floating back to the inside. He's the outside linebacker. And to understand where he's playing, he's played in the middle the last couple of games because Micah Johnson's been hurt. He slides back to the outside and knows his responsibility is to find that vertical receiver down through the middle. He gets in front of Cook to knock it down.
Smelly gets leveled as he threw the football, looking for Jason Barnes, overthrew his target.
Herein lies some of the problems that you face when you face Kentucky. This is a defensive line that will get after you. This is a group that's grown up together. Now, seniors across the board, and they're a group that will come after you. That's on great pressure, and that's what screws up the passing attack more than anything else. Coverage, you hope it's there, but pressure is the key.
Are you almost in 2-down territory right here?
No, I don't think so at this far out. I think it's a punting situation if they're not able to convert here. Unless they can pick up about 10 yards.
South Carolina wants a timeout, and they barely get it. A flag came in late, but I think the timeout was called before the flag was thrown, and it was. So South Carolina will get their timeout with 2:12 to go.
We have a timeout, Georgia, South Carolina.
Here in the opening quarter. Well, it's time to update our Alltel text of war poll. We're asking you, which team do you want to win this game? Well, you see the results right now. South Carolina up by 18 percentage points over Kentucky. But you can make your voice heard right now by texting your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. That's S1 or S2 to 55333. As always, thanks for participating in our Alltel text of war.
We kind of hamstrung our Kentucky Wildcat fans out there, haven't we? They got 60,000 here in the stands here, so we got to get some of those people to call here in the stands and get texts in so Kentucky can try to level the playing field a little bit there.
Chris Smelly's 4 out of 14, an interception, a touchdown. Now, of course, that interception was not necessarily on his shoulders, but it just has not been. He threw that great ball for the touchdown to McKinley, but it just hasn't been any kind of consistent rhythm.
Right, consistency is the key word, Dave. It's not been consistent. He's made some big-time throws and made some sloppy throws.
And a whistle blows again, and a flag. Delay of game. I don't think it. The play clock was. Yeah, the play clock was 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, it could be a 12-man on the field type of situation. We'll find out right here.
Part of the snap. Substitution infraction on the defense. 12 players in the formation. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
You might look at it and say, oh, it's just a 5-yard penalty. It was already third and long. It's still third and long. But that changes things, Dave, now because the routes you're going to run, now that intermediate route gets the first down for you. Now you're beyond the stakes where you wouldn't have been at 3rd and 17.
Clock should say 2:12 on it. 1 second ticked off. I think that's what we're waiting for. And they have corrected the problem. So here we go on 3rd down, and now it's 12. And now almost are you in a 2-down situation here?
I think now you're back in that range where, yes, if you get some yards up here, you might think about going for it.
That pass is picked off. Jamari Moore with the second interception of Chris Smelly this afternoon. He was looking for Dion LaCorn, and Moore just stepped in front.
Yeah, LaCorn doesn't do anything to the defensive back to get him out of the back pedal. Means he never threatened him deep, so he was just able to sit on the route. See, a poor job of LaCorn getting Moore to turn his hips and run out of there. Subsequently, he could watch the quarterback all the way, stay in the back pedal, and just break on the throw.
First interception of the season for Shamari Moore. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
David, I don't know what Arch thought, but it looked like that ball slipped out of his hand. It kind of came out like a knuckleball. It had nothing on it.
It had just enough to get to Moore's hands. Here's Hartline. His pass wobbly but caught. Randall Cobb out near midfield. They'll spot it at the 47. Chris Culliver brings him down.
And just enough protection to make this happen. Hartline's got to stand in. He's got to wait for Cobb to get over the middle of the field. Does an outstanding job up front. He stands tall. He's going to take a shot at the end of it, but makes a good throw. Getting hit to Cobb. Well, they want to make a point of getting this kid the football. Outstanding hands, and he's good run after the catch.
There's Randy Sanders, a former offensive coordinator at Tennessee, has done a nice job with the quarterbacks here at Kentucky. Out of the eye, they will hand it off to Derek Locke. Jasper Brinkley clogs up the middle, makes the tackle.
Something you got to continue to do, Dave. You got to probe the defensive line with the run. They got to continue to make an effort to run the football, or South Carolina with their pass rushers will just tee off on Hartline.
Hartline a sophomore out of Canton, Ohio. Completing almost 56% of his passes on the year. He will throw one here and overthrows his fullback John Connor.
Well, he's a big, tall guy, and he's got to be able to get on top of the football, and that means to get your hand down through, finish the throw, pull the string a little bit, and that ball's going to stay high. When I say pull the string, that means that hand doesn't come all the way to the thigh pad. He stops that motion about halfway through, and the ball's going to stay high.
Well, now Kentucky looking at a 3rd and 9. They've yet to convert on a 3rd down. Joker Phillips. You look at Steve Brown in there. Joker in that box somewhere. Looking for their first 3rd down conversion of the afternoon. Hartline will take it, and a flag comes down at midfield. Clifton Gathers will get credit for that tackle, but well shy of the first down.
Excellent initial protection for the Wildcats, and when Hartline pulled it down, then
Holding on the offense, number 72. 4th down.
holding call. Zip Duncan, the offensive guard. A lot of times, as an offensive lineman, you're blocking, and all of a sudden you feel your lineman start to slip off. You grab holding. That's what happened to Duncan Ryan.
Ryan to punt it away to Captain Mike. Munnerlyn will let it sail into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback, and the Gamecocks will get the football at the 20-yard line after a 48-yard punt. Oh, Kentucky's offense has been somewhat stagnant here in the first quarter with 19 seconds to play in quarter number 1. Time for our Suzuki Way of Life performer, and it's Tim Mastay, the senior kicker, who averaging about 45 yards a punt, but he's also one of the better off the field type of guys in terms of the work that he does. Just recently named to the All-State National Good Works team, just one of 11 players in Division 1A football to be named as such that list, and congrats to him. Here's Smelly, fumbles the football at the 30. Kentucky has it. Johnny Williams comes up with the football. The senior out of Jacksonville will give Kentucky excellent field position.
Well, it's a matter of understanding where you are and who's around you. And as a quarterback, if you skate up inside the pocket and start to run with it, you better put it away because defenders are closing from the backside. David Jones comes up and gets a big hit from his corner spot and get the recovery.
That is the 9th turnover that South Carolina has lost this year. That is a ton of interceptions and fumbles for a team that has played 6 games in 1 quarter. Hartline throws it wide open to Locke. Locke down to the 15-yard line. Carlos Thomas runs him out of bounds, a gain of 21.
Yeah, nice little design here by Joker Phillips. Got a spread look with 3 receivers stacked on top of each other, and South Carolina loses Locke, who's the low guy in the stack. He just slips in the flat, and Hartline puts it on him. Good read by the young quarterback.
10-yard line as the first quarter comes to a close. Here in Lexington. Two teams trying to stay in the mix in the SEC East are all tied up here in Lexington. We move to the second quarter. 7-7 in what has been a strange first 15 minutes of football. And Kentucky just outside the 10-yard line can pick up a first down inside the 1. Randall Cobb in at quarterback. Hartline splits out way to the right. Here's Cobb dancing around and swarmed after a loss of 2 yards. Darian Stewart, that Spur linebacker, along with Chris Culliver, bring him down. Take a look at our red zone, powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. Kentucky offense inside that red zone, 10 touchdowns and 18 opportunities. They score 83% of the time. 5 out of 7 in the field goal department. Second down and 10. Hartline over the middle, and a little misread between he and Dicky Lyons Jr. Take a look at our first quarter stats, and it's the South Carolina turnovers that have done them into this point, because Kentucky hasn't really moved the football.
Right. And Kentucky's defense in the sudden change situation in the first quarter did a nice job with that. Here, South Carolina's defense rise up on third down and do the same thing and have a good sudden change. That means taking the field in the short field after a turnover.
Dicky Lyons Jr. will make that grab inside the 5. They'll spot it at the 3. And that is not a good sign. Grabbing that right knee.
It looked like the defender fell in the back of his legs, Dave, as he turned up the field. Carlos Thomas, the defender, coming in for South Carolina. Dicky Lyons turned to try to get to the pylon. He's going to run a little short, flat route. Hartline's on top of the football. Now Lyons going to try to roll up the field and get in the end zone. Got that right leg bent over.
Well, you hope he's okay. The senior at New Orleans, Louisiana. Of course, his dad, a big-time Kentucky player in his era, and had a wonderful conversation with him yesterday and getting ready for the game. His production on the football field. Down reception.
Coming in today's game, he's got 31,000 coming in today's game. The next closest player was Derek Locke at 14. So you know how important he is to this football team. And you're right, what a great kid to talk to yesterday.
21 yards out, and the kick is blocked. And here goes Captain Munnerlyn. Match day chasing, but to no avail. That will be a South Carolina touchdown.
And that certainly looked like a familiar face glowing through the middle. Munnerlyn gets the Sunday hop. Lindsey gets the block. Right through the middle. The big defensive end blew through the middle. Soft in the middle was Kentucky on the protection.
Captain Munnerlyn had a big return on a kickoff. Now goes 80 yards on the blocked field goal.
I thought that was 40 Norwood for a second, but it ended up being 41 Jordan Lindsey who gets the block.
This is Pinpoint Strange football game here in Lexington. Back in a moment. Today's game is brought to you in part by Suzuki Motorcycles. Boy, we need some wheels today to catch Captain Munnerlyn. An 80-yard kickoff return, and now an 81-yard blocked field goal attempt returned for a touchdown. Let's go check in with Dave Baker. Buzz.
Report from the Kentucky sideline, no apparent damage, at least initially, on Dicky Lyons' knee. He's going to get it iced down. They're going to take a look at him and see if he can get back in the game. But the initial report's good, especially when you take a look at just how much the wrong way that knee bent back.
Buzz, when you take Dicky Lyons out of the receiving corps, you're looking at sophomore, freshman, junior, freshman.
Only returning starter.
And a loose football at the goal line. And Derek Locke will fall on it at the 10.
sloppy play here and just kind of too casual getting over to the ball. Didn't get himself settled under the football. Was trying to kind of take it on the move, and very fortunate to get back on it for Kentucky.
Here is Dickie Lyons Jr. You heard Dave Baker just say a moment ago, you know, the only returning receiver that contributed significantly from a year ago. And Locke, speaking of going, nowhere to go for Derek Locke.
Locke is one of these guys in the backfield. It's one of those 4-2, 4-3 guys. So while you tackle him, you gang tackle him. Cut off his edges. Don't give him anywhere to go. Treat him like a punt returner. And Dustin Lindsey on that tackle. So the Lindsey brothers made the last 2 plays for Carolina.
Second down, Hartline stands in the pocket. As Randall Cobb, who gets hit about the 14-yard line by Marvin Sapp. Gain of 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down, and that is an area that Kentucky has struggled in big time today. They've yet to pick up a 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, but you keep giving yourself these kind of opportunities, Dave. 3rd, 5, 3rd, and 6. These are the ones that you have a chance to run a variety of stuff. You can even run the football out of this formation, so you make South Carolina defend the entire field here.
Kentucky will spread it out. Hartline pass is caught by Cobb, but he is lit up by Emmanuel Cook. Boy, you love watching Cook play football from the safety position.
This is one of my favorite players to watch in the SEC is Emmanuel Cook. Leads the SEC in solo tackles, and when he gets to the football, it's usually over. He usually makes the play. You see him read it, come from the safety spot, and make the tackle. That's his 53rd tackle on the year, but he's right around 43 solo tackles. He's a tremendous football player.
He is playing on a bad ankle, coming off a career-high 14 stops against Ole Miss last weekend over in Oxford. There's Mass State to punt it away. Tight spiral. Captain Munnerlyn. Did that touch him? It did now, and South Carolina will fall on it back at the 20-yard line. Addison Williams in the right spot. Boy, both these clubs having trouble holding on to the football.
I'll be interested to see what Dave Baker's feeling down on the sideline. Buzz, it looks like the wind is affecting the ball on some of these punts. The second time we see Munnerlyn have a problem, this time trying to catch it in the air.
Yeah, it's swirling big time, Arch. One thing I want to check with you about, you played for a lot of different guys, but especially when you're a quarterback for Steve Spurrier, there's not a lot of equity that you have bankrolled. And then you turn the ball over 3 times in the first half, and your buddy Captain Munnerlyn has bailed you out. I would think that Chris Smelley would be on a pretty short rope right now.
Well, I think as long as they're in the lead or they're near tied, I don't think Smelley's coming out of the game. But you're right. It's been an up and down first half for Chris Smelley. Well, we talk about it. This is a play where if he gets this football to his back in the flat, has a chance to be a monster play. This is the one where Kenny McKinley was out wrestled. Trevard Lindley takes it in for the touchdown. And then he didn't take care of the ball when he scrambled. Had it stripped out. The awareness of being around people are going to try to take it from you. But he has made a big-time throw to McKinley for a touchdown.
4 out of 15. Wow. Mike Davis hit a tailback. McKinley in motion. He will get the football. And Kentucky reads that very well. And all McKinley can do is get out of bounds. Back at the line of scrimmage. Jeremy Jarman stayed at home and forced the issue.
Well, he had a mix-up in the backfield. Mike Davis is supposed to fake the handoff through the middle to try to pull Jeremy Jarman down to the inside. They don't get that fake. So Jarman just stays outside and is home against McKinley on the reverse.
South Carolina 3 out of 6 on 3rd down. Pointed out they are the best 3rd down conversion team in this league.
Here's Jared Fish right here, the big tight end, Dave.
Twice they've gone to him for 2 of those conversions. Here's McKinley. He's reaching to the 30, and that'll be good enough for a first down. He just had to get to the 30, and that's what he did.
Little check off the line of scrimmage by Smelly. He felt like that they were going to come with some pressure, so he pulled Cook back to the inside. He was lined up wide, pulled him back inside for protection, protected that right side, and able to make the throw and slot to McKinley for the first down.
He's caught at least 4 passes in 14 of the last 15 games he's played.
I would say go-to guy would be maybe an understatement.
Here's Davis. It's about 3 on the play. Kenny McKinley chasing down some South Carolina receiving records. Today, he is now, with those 3 grabs, has tied Sterling Sharp for career receptions at South Carolina. Not a bad guy to be attached to.
Well, not at all.
He came into the game 241 yards from passing, Sharp for receiving yards. And we'll add to that total right here, and they coughed it up. And Kentucky will have the football. They will call it a catch and a fumble. And this is about as bizarre a game as I can recall covering.
Dave, we talked, Steve Spurrier wants consistency on offense, and what they consistently seem to do is shoot themselves in the foot. They make a play, and then they do this to themselves. McKinley, good read from Smelly. McKinley catches it on the slant and is just stripped. Outstanding job by Shamari Moore to get the hand on the ball, and McClinton comes up with a recovery.
We have had 5 turnovers and a blocked kick already, and we have played just over a quarter of football. That handoff, the lock gets maybe a yard. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Hey, Dave, you look at the job that this South Carolina defense is doing in light of all the turnovers. Ellis Johnson, a guy that Steve Spurrier's really turned things over to. He had such a great career at Mississippi State. We saw what he was able to do there. Wanted to come back home to South Carolina. And maybe Kentucky's worst offensive game last year was a game we had here when Ellis Johnson had the state defense going in that upset of the Cats.
And Buzz Hartline completes the pass inside the 40. Down to about the 38-yard line. Boyd able to catch Aaron Boyd.
The credit Joker Phillips, Dave, as we see Dickie Lyons headed inside. We can only hope that when he gets in there, it's just a sprain to the knee. But credit Joker Phillips on that last play of moving his quarterback. He understands South Carolina getting some pressure. He moved his quarterback, made an easy throw to the outside for the conversion.
So on first down and 10. Hartline will throw again. And that pass is incomplete. E.J. Adams let it slip through his hands. Tony Woodson on that coverage.
Excellent protection again by Kentucky's offensive line. Do an outstanding job of giving Hartline time to look left side and then come all the way back to the deep in route on the other side of the field.
Second down and 10. Here goes Locke. And that'll set up another third down as Darian Stewart picks up another tackle. 4 of those.
Gain of 4. Ball is at the 33. 3rd and 6.
You can see our Academy Sports down and distance marker as it says it's 3rd down and 5.
See if Ellis Johnson dials up some pressure here to get after the quarterback. Hartline looking at the pressure. They're back out.
4-man rush. Swing it near side to Locke. He needs some work to get the first down, and he certainly gets it and nearly tiptoed that sideline and would have had a bigger gain. But the Wildcats will take that first down as Akeem Auguste knocks him out of bounds after a 14-yard pickup.
You can see why they want Locke with the football in his hands. As soon as he gets in the open field, he's problems for anybody. Two South Carolina defenders had leverage to the outside on him, but Locke a little dip to the inside, back to the outside. 4.3, 4.2 speed. He's a problem out on the edge.
There's a little option to the near side and a gain of 8. So Locke picking up some yardage, a sophomore out of Hugo, Oklahoma. Take a look at our red zone, powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. And this was South Carolina last week against Ole Miss, a game in which they gave up a ton of points in the first half, 21 points in the first half, but then held the Rebels to just 3 points in the second half. And after we saw Ole Miss beat Florida, that was an impressive win by South Carolina on the road. Hartline throws to the end zone, incomplete. And here comes a flag in the end zone. Maurice Grinter, the tight end, was the intended target. Akeem Auguste on the coverage for South Carolina.
Looked like the freshman got the left arm wrapped around Grinter just before the ball got there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 3. A foul occurred in the end zone. The ball would be placed at the 2-yard line and includes an automatic first down.
Number 3's Grinter. Let's see where the left arm is. Yeah, left arm wrapped around the waist. You can always tell when the receiver's body changes a little bit. These teams have been going toe-to-toe since the opening kickoff, and now Kentucky set up at the 2.
Timeout on the field as Kentucky talks about it, looking at a 1st and goal when we come back after a word from your local stations. Is provided by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. 1st and goal. Touchdown Kentucky. Tony Dixon. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And Kentucky a point away from tying it up.
It's the power play off the left side. Dixon gets in behind some good blocking and really kind of goes in, gets to the goal line before he's ever touched. Good block there on the pull around by Beats, the right guard. Excellent job of blocking, stepping around the center to get that trap block.
That was Dixon's first carry of the game. Goes 2 yards for the touchdown, and Lona Sieber to attempt the point after, and it is up. And it is good. So the turnover pays dividends for Kentucky. And we are tied at 14. We are tied at 14 with 6:23 to go in the second quarter. Look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. 52 yards, 249, and Tony Dixon checks in for his first carry and scampers that 2 yards to tie it up. And I don't know what to make of the first quarter and a half. I mean, this has been a weird SEC football game.
Remember when you got that ticket to get on the roller coaster ride?
Yeah. How about that kickoff? In the air by Mastay through the end zone. Let's go downstairs and check in with Dave Baker. Has a couple of familiar faces.
Yeah, a guy who did a lot of kick returning himself, Derek Abney, and Jared Lorenzen here. Jared, you've seen a lot of strange things in this building, but 4 turnovers in this first half, a block kick, a kickoff return.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's it goes to show how good their defense is this year. They're making plays, and they're keeping us in the game right now. It's 14-all. We got a really good shot in the second half.
Jared, you still got that Super Bowl ring from last year. What are you trying to do? I know you're trying to get back. What are your plans right now?
Yeah, just keep working out and keep trying to get back in the league. I mean, I'm just trying to work as hard as I possibly can. If it doesn't work out, I'll go into the spring and see what happens.
Take a look at this action and visit with Derek here in just a minute as the Kentucky defense rises up. Derek, you have still got, gosh, it's got to be double-digit NCAA and SEC records for what you did here, and it doesn't seem like all that long ago when you were playing.
Yeah, it's nice to come back and be a part of it again down on the sidelines, seeing everybody, meeting with Shane Boyd, and it's been a blast.
Now you're down in the Carolinas now, and what, engineering, is that right?
That's right. I'm in Charleston doing some civil engineering.
So, do you wear that UK shirt down there in Gamecock country a lot?
Oh, you better believe it. They know it. I'm with a bunch of Gamecock fans, and they hate me. Let's just put it that way.
Well, hopefully it doesn't affect any bids you turn in. It's great seeing you guys. Derek Abney and Jared Lorenzen. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Buzz. Wide open is Kenny McKinley. He thought somebody was going to hit him as he turned, and nobody was there. First down, South Carolina. Marcus McClinton runs him out of bounds.
Well, that play stayed alive long enough. Smelly skated out of the pocket to the right side. McKinley to the slot there is going to avoid. He's got to avoid a lot of traffic, but the play stays alive long enough for McKinley to get the football on the far side of the formation. Good job of Smelly finding him, and a good job of Kenny McKinley staying with his quarterback.
Not much on the handoff. Boy, great seeing Jared Lorenzen and Derek Abney. Had a chance to call many of their games, and
we saw some classics here. The Battleship Lorenzen, tremendous football player, and then Derek Abney was engineering, but he engineered a few kick returns in his day here at Kentucky.
Of course, you heard Buzz mention that Jared able to pick up a Super Bowl ring last year with the Giants to back up to Eli Manning. Here's the handoff to Bobby Wallace. Not much happening there. Corey Peters plugs the hole and picks up the tackle.
Again, both these teams trying to probe these defenses with the run game to try to help themselves in the passing game. They have not been able to get much out of the running game, but what they're trying to do is just try to keep that front seven, or certainly the front four for Kentucky, locked into defending the run.
Third down and 9.
From the sideline from Spurrier to change the play.
Right through the hands of Mike Davis, and Steve Spurrier is livid. He dialed up a play that was going to get the first down, and he is marching and stomping on the far side.
And this isn't the first time. He does a good job of getting Smelly to check off. He saw they had man coverage, and Davis is locked on the linebacker, and he just makes the backer miss. Slides to the inside. If he catches that football, we may still be talking about him running.
Boy, they dialed up the perfect play. That would have got plenty of yardage and then some. Here's Randall Cobb on the return. Not much happening out over the 20-yard line. Well, just like every week, Rascal Flatts opened up our telecast with their hit Bob That Head from the album Still Feels Good. The guys hosted a party for the kids at the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt this past Wednesday. They have a concert coming up next Friday at the Sommay Center in Nashville to benefit the hospital. I'm sure our tickets are in the mail. Well, this is the 4th year of the event, and those guys have done a marvelous job in raising over $2 million for that hospital. They do a lot of charity work, and none perhaps bigger and better than that. So on first down, a big hole out to the 27 by Derek Locke, but he gets popped by Captain Munnerlyn.
Derek Locke's done a nice job today. Munnerlyn has had an outstanding day with the returns and comes up, makes a good solo tackle, but Locke has been the featured guy today. Good block to the inside there to turn the linebacker out of the play. Sapp got blocked by John Connor, the fullback. Good job by Connor to clear that hole for Locke.
Out of the eye. Quick throw to the near side. Here goes Randall Cobb, first down. Out over the 35 to the 37.5-yard line. Darian Stewart able to make the tackle, but not before a gain of 9.
Talk about play call, and Joker Phillips noticed that South Carolina playing soft to that side of the field, the wide side, and get the ball to Randall Cobb, the freshman, a tremendous playmaker out in space. Does a good job of getting upfield and getting the first down.
Boy, in today's offensive world, you just don't see a whole lot of I formations anymore. We have it for the second consecutive time, but they'll play action to the tailback lock and then throw it to him. Tried to set up a little bit of a screen, and they'll say the pass was caught, a gain of a couple. Go to Yahoo Sports to see over 50 Raycom Sports SEC football and basketball games, and for only $4.95 a month, you can hear thousands of audio broadcasts. Be sure and follow your team all season long at Yahoo Sports.
They get this I formation and makes the linebackers tighten down a little bit. Get your flags and take over. You can take them out of the pass coverage.
Lock to the 45. Jasper Brinkley brings him down. 7 stops already for Jasper Brinkley. A lot of people wondering, Jasper was a little slow out of the gate. People wondering, was the knee injury that devastating on him to slow him down as much as it appeared? But he is slowly but surely getting back to that form of a pre-injury Jasper Brinkley.
He had 8 tackles last week against Ole Miss, so he is rounding into shape for the Gamecock defense.
A little inside handoff. Locke brought down by Sapp, and some extracurricular activities will draw a flag.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, number 40. 15 yards into the run, automatic first down.
Just not a very smart play. Norwood working against Beats. Jess Beats, the guard. Norwood took a little exception the way he's being blocked, but as an old coach once told me, nobody is worth a 15-yard penalty.
I tell you what, Jeremy Jarman is the actor on this team, but that was a nice job by Jess Beats to go ahead and play it out.
Jeremy in the process of writing his own play. Beats may have a shot.
Right. That'll set up the Cats 1st and 10. High pass incomplete. Looking for Matt Rourke, that freshman out of Ackworth, Georgia. Just outside of Atlanta.
Well, Dave, you mentioned earlier how young this receiver core is with Dickie Lyons out of the game. Rourke, the freshman, but you're talking about Steve Johnson. You're talking about Keenan Burton, Jacob Tammy, Raphael Little off of this offense from last year.
I mean, for the most part, their receiving core is a glorified high school all-star team.
Right.
Here's Hartline. Little inside screen. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and big 52. Jasper Brinkley along with Darian Stewart all over it.
Again, trying to get Randall Cobb the ball. Had a little tunnel screen set up for him. Good job by South Carolina to defend it.
We go under a minute to play here in the first half. 3rd down and 10. Hartline. Pass is caught at the 33. Well shy of the first down.
And the pressure made him get rid of the football there, Dave. Norwood was coming off on the pass rush.
And you're looking at a 50-yard field goal if that's what Kentucky wants to do.
Norwood sliding back to the inside. Relentless pass rusher. Dropped the ball off the Locke. I think the pressure more than anything else made him drop that football off.
Kentucky has a couple of timeouts left here, and I think they'll let the clock wind down and call that timeout. And Kentucky will call the timeout with 10 seconds.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, be sure and join us next Saturday at 12:30 just to kind of figure out what game we'll have. We will have either LSU at South Carolina or Vanderbilt at Georgia. The defending champs will try to make their trip to Columbia a good one as they take on Steve Spurrier's Gamecocks, while the Commodores look for another upset in Athens against the Bulldogs. Log on to raycomsports.com and click on the Regions Bank Road Trip Planner for the quickest routes and all the information you need traveling around the SEC.
Kentucky now already has had one field goal block, Dave, that was returned for a touchdown. So Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach for Kentucky, you can bet got this group together at that timeout, said, okay, now we got to shore up the middle, because you can bet that South Carolina will try to probe that same area.
So Ryan Tidlatchka will step in and try to hit from 51. As long as 45. This looks like it has plenty of leg. Oh, yes, it does. 51 yards out. Sid Lachka with a new career long.
And Kentucky did just enough, Dave, on the protection. South Carolina got some push in the same area, but the young man stuck it through from deep.
Of course, an important game for both of these clubs trying to stay in the SEC Eastern Division race, but there are also some other big games to keep an eye on. And, of course, Vanderbilt trying to go 5-0. They are ranked with a win at Mississippi State, looking to go 6-0, I should say. And, of course, LSU and Florida, these two teams continue to play great football games. The last two national champs meeting down at the Swamp. It is an interesting weekend, to say the least, around the SEC as you look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. Vanderbilt. How about the Commodores, Arch?
Well, I think if you pick a guy out that you would like to see do well, you like every team to win in the SEC, but that isn't always, obviously they can't do that playing field. But Bobby Johnson is as good a guy as you could ever talk to. And as hard as he's worked at Vanderbilt to get that operation together, you can't be more happy for the guy.
And that'll do it for the first half. Boy, it was a strange first half. 5 turnovers, a block kick, return for a touchdown. I mean, it was nutty in Lexington. But we have a 3-point game, and Kentucky leading South Carolina 17-14. Anxious to hear the words from Steve Spurrier after what was probably one of the more bizarre first halves he has seen in a while. Let's go to Dave Baker now.
Steve, we've seen a lot of strange first half with 4 turnovers. You only got 3 points.
Well, yeah, our quarterback and our receiver, Kenny's fumbled twice and one for a touchdown. Our quarterback's had some errant plays, but we hold on the ball. I think we can move it a bit, but we'll find out.
All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. That's Steve Spurrier as his South Carolina Gamecocks go to the locker room. And they trail the homesteading Wildcats of Kentucky by a count of 17-14.
SEC football is brought to you by Pizza Hut, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Geico, by BG Headache House, and by Ruby Tuesday. SEC football is being brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, by Carrabba's Italian Grill, by Cooper Tires, by Polaris ATV, by McDonald's, by Budweiser, and by the new AT&T.
Well, you think they're excited to get basketball season started here in Lexington? That was Midnight Madness last night. 23,000 all hand inside Rupp Arena to look at the new Cats. And SEC football is presented in high definition where available by Raycom Sports. Well, Dave Baker had a chance to catch up with Kentucky's coach Rich Brooks.
Rich, that was one strange half of football.
Well, there were some turnovers and some bad special teams plays and some good special teams plays. The good news is we executed a nice kick at the end and got a 3-point lead.
And you're getting what you've gotten all season long from your defense.
They've been good. We'd like to get off on 3rd down a little better. I think they were 4 of 8 on 3rd down, and some of them were 3rd and long.
All right, thanks, Rich. We appreciate it. That's Rich Brooks, Dave, as his team will kick off the football to begin the second half of play. South Carolina won the toss and deferred.
Thanks, Dave Baker. And while we got a second, it's always great to come to Kentucky. And one of the guys, one of our favorite guys we've had a chance to know for a long time, Jeff Van Noten, in the Ring of Honor here at Kentucky, going through some health issues. I know a guy that you played with, a guy I've worked with, the guy who's broadcast Kentucky games, a little under the weather.
He was my center. Just want to throw a shout out to Jeff Van Noten, his lovely wife, Dee. We're thinking about you. He's got a little procedure he's going to have to go into the early part of this week, and we're thinking about you.
Here's an onside kick by Kentucky, but South Carolina able to cover it. It was actually kicked twice. I believe that Mastay might have actually kicked that twice, which means the ball would probably go back to that spot if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was one of the coverage unit members that kicked it after Mastay was trying to do the little dribble kick, and it's kicked by another player on the Kentucky coverage unit, and they had a chance to recover that. That's a little bunt play where you get the onside kick, but
did it go 10 yards? I couldn't tell if it traveled the distance. Of course, the kickoffs are at the 30-yard line now, so it's got to go at least over the 40.
And Spurrier's asking for the illegal touching before 10.
Now, this could be a reviewable play by our booth if they wanted to stop it and take a closer look. Obviously,
offside on the kicking team.
Doesn't even matter.
That penalty will be declined. The receiving team will take the ball at the spot of illegal touching. 1st and 10.
There you go. It was inside the 40. So how about South Carolina? And this could have easily been a Kentucky football had they been paying attention.
They did a great job of playing it off. Watch the man just to the left of Mastay, or as you're looking at it to the left, it's going to hit the left foot. And Rich Brooks letting them know. I mean, they had a chance to dial one up there, maybe steal momentum in the second half.
Smelly will throw. Kenny McKinley wide open, and that would have been 6. Marcus McClinton was beaten on the coverage, and you see the guys on South Carolina's O-line saying, come on, Chris.
Well, these are the plays that drive Steve Spurrier crazy. He has a perfect design on a man coverage situation. You've got your big-time receiver, McKinley, running the post route all the time in the world to throw it, and you just don't put it on him.
South Carolina first half possessions. I will say this, Coach Spurrier has dialed up some tremendous plays today, and they just have not converted. They've been there. Here's the tight end, Jared Cook, with his 3rd grab of the day. Doesn't get much. Braxton Kelly hanging on for dear life.
Good job by Kelly to get up and make the play against Cook. Cook's been a big time. It looked like Kelly got away with a little bump before the ball got there, but did a good job of getting the big receiving tight end on the ground to force South Carolina in this long yardage 3rd down situation.
So Kentucky will go with a nickel package defensively on 3rd down and 10. McKinley bouncing around. Now he slips outside of Jason Butler. Smelly will tuck it and run. And he will be shy of the 1st down by about 6 yards. Micah Johnson, tackle number 7.
Well, this is well within the range of Suckup, the kicker. Missed one from earlier from 50, but he'll get another shot here, Dave.
Look at our Woodman of the World scoreboard. Ryan Suckup will attempt a field goal. He missed one left from 50, and this is right about the same spot. Now Suckup has got an awesome leg. You can almost hear the explosion of the ball when he hits it. Even Flint, the holder. Here goes the kid. Get it wide left again. More than enough leg. There's no question he's got the strength to get it there, but his accuracy is off the mark.
Well, you got to give Kentucky's defense a tremendous amount of credit there. Thinking they were going to get the ball on the onside kick. They don't get it, and they force the field goal that Suckup cannot convert. An excellent job of Kentucky's defense standing up.
Well, as Kentucky comes on the field, let's get an update on Dickie Lyons Jr. from Dave Baker. Buzz.
Yeah, major bad news for Kentucky. Dickie Lyons will not be back. They're going to reevaluate the knee tomorrow. That could, in all likelihood, entail an MRI. They didn't say that, but he's going to be out here on crutches. But Kentucky's most experienced receiver done for the day.
There goes Hartline. Pass is caught out over the 40 to the 44-yard line by T.C. Drake, the 6'6" tight end. out of Bardstown, Kentucky. Will pick up 12 and a first down. But here's the injury Dave Baker was referring to. Dickie Lyons just twisted that right knee, and he says he's out for the game. I hope he's not. His season isn't over. His career isn't over. He's a young man that you hope can get back on the field in a hurry.
Not as a tremendous football player, great kid, and you just hate to see that happen to anybody.
Little play action here from Hartline. He'll step up and fire. Overthrows Randall Cobb.
Now, Hartline hasn't been on target with every throw today, but he's done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. He's made some throws where only his guys can get it. If he's overthrown it, he's overthrown it. He's done a good job of not turning the football over. The first half possessions by Kentucky. A tough start, early start. But they did a good job of closing out the half with 10 points.
Derek Locke gets out to the UK in midfield. Picks up about 4 on the play on second down. Jasper Brinkley continues to rack up the tackles. Just matched his senior season high. This could be his senior season as well as 8 already this afternoon. And you know that can only be good news for a guy like Ellis Johnson. When you put Brinkley in the mix, they've been getting this done without a 100% Jasper Brinkley.
260-pound middle linebacker. That's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good, solid guy in the middle.
Hartline, nice throw through a rope, but a fraction behind his receiver. You know, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation with 12:01. Here comes Dickie Lyons out on the crutches.
Well, what you'll see Dickie do is when he gets to the sidelines, he's going to get all those young receivers together and say, hey, you guys got to step up and make plays. Adeyemi on that last play had a chance to sit down the hole and make a catch for Hartline, didn't get it done, and you can bet that the senior receiver will be all over him, getting him ready to play.
Ted Latchka will punt it away. A high kick fielded by Munnerlyn, who takes the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Well, a great day to get the grills going. Cooking a little, could that be Gamecock? I don't know. Back in a moment. SEC football is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota's keys are featured on RaycomSports.com. South Carolina sets up back at their 16-yard line. Chris Smelley throws pass to McKinley. Picks up a couple on the play, brought down by Shamari Moore, but Kenny McKinley continues to add to his new South Carolina record in terms of receptions. And today he's had an interesting afternoon.
Well, he made a big-time catch there, the great throw. But he's the guy that when Smelly's in trouble, he's going to try to find McKinley, and why not? They're the all-time leader in receptions in South Carolina football history.
6 catches today. Just past Sterling Sharp for the Gamecock career record. Smelly under pressure. Pump fakes a couple of blue jerseys in the air and then gets out of bounds before what would have been a substantial loss. Ventrell Jenkins and Myron Pryor getting the work done up front for the Big Blue. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by IKBI Incorporated, Igby, building vision, building relationships. We talked about it. You brought it up a couple of times getting ready for this game about how effective Kentucky's front 4 is, and we saw an example there.
And they can put pressure, Dave, without having to bring extra people. They do a great job of getting heat, and they can drop 7 into coverage.
They may do that right here on a 3rd down and 9. It is a 4-man rush. Smelly over the middle, looking for Cook, and just threw it a little too far out in front of the big tight end.
Well, he's Spurrier shaking his head, but right over the middle is Jared Cook, and he's going to be wide open. He just doesn't put it on him. McKinley does the little hide route, sneaks to the back of the outside. He's open as well, so your 2 main guys are wide open, and you didn't get it to either one. And Steve, I think at some point is going to go get loose.
Steve,
he's going to start warming up. I see it.
4th down. And a good kick off a low snap. And Randall Cobb will get out of bounds at midfield. So good field position coming up for the Wildcat offense after a 42-yard punt. And with Kentucky leading 17-14 here in Lexington, we will return right after this. Well, you said Steve was getting loose over there. You didn't realize it was Steven Garcia taking some throws. We'll see what happens on South Carolina's next possession as Chris Smelly's now 9 out of 23 today. Kentucky with the football. Looked like a hole was there for Derek Locke, and then Emmanuel Cook just closed it in about a fraction of a second.
Yeah, that guy showed up.
That guy, 21, he's everywhere. Boy, he is a big-time player, the junior out of Riviera Beach, Florida. Well, the seasons are changing, and so are Carrabba's specials. Hurry in to try their new Marsala di Carrabba and the Risotto di Mare tonight at Carrabba's.
Saw Buzz eating that just a little bit ago.
That's why we haven't heard from Buzz. Out of the eye. Quick throw near side. Look at Cobb bounce around, stay on his feet. The true freshman. Run out of bounds by Jasper Brinkley after an 8-yard game. A couple of missed tackles by the Gamecocks.
Man, this is a big-time move. He's right there to make the tackle, and a great job of coming over. Darian Stewart makes the tackle, but how about the move that Cobb, who did he put on? Carlos Thomas, the corner. He was right there to make the play.
First down and 10 for Kentucky. Here comes a blitz, and Kentucky picked it up. Quick throw, gain of about 7. That goes to Cobb again. Jasper Brinkley now in double figures with his 10th tackle.
Dave, we're not giving Joker Phillips enough credit. He's dialed up a number of plays. He's reading the coverage from upstairs and then signaling down to Randy Sanders, and then they're signaling in the change. You saw the change there. They saw blitz coming. They went to the middle screen or the tunnel screen there and picked up good yardage.
And they really haven't asked Hartline to go deep with a couple of throws. He's been basically the short game. He's now 17 out of 26 for 117 yards. Adeyemi with the reception brought down by Carlos Thomas, and that'll be a Kentucky first down inside the 20 at the 19.
Just a quick throw. It's going to be a hitch to the outside. 1, 2, 3, bang it out there. Good job of getting his hands around the ball. Adeyemi. Joker Phillips. He's called a good game today. He understands he's got a young quarterback. He's got young receivers. Just trying to keep them in manageable situations.
Chris Culliver steps up and hammers Derek Locke, who lost a yard on the play, and that's now 8 stops for Chris Culliver.
Yes, a good job of just another good gang tackling effort. Culliver steps to the outside, cuts the leverage, takes the leverage away from the outside. Now, Joker Phillips stays with the way he's been calling plays. This will be an intermediate throw to try to minimize how much they have on third down. Another pressure look from South Carolina. A lot of men around the line of scrimmage.
Good drop. Throw to the corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for Randall Cobb.
Yeah, not a good decision by Mike Hartline this time. Had the fade route going to the end zone. They had a chance on both edges for that little minimized throw. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Hey, Arch, it's going to be interesting to see if Mike Hartline does some more of that. In the last couple of minutes, Carlos Thomas, who's rotating in at cornerback, and Akeem August rotating in at the free safety, both went off. August with the knee, he's back out there now, but a lot of change-up in the South Carolina secondary.
Third down and a dozen. Hartline sees some pressure, and he is dropped back at the 27-yard line. Jordan Lindsay. The senior out of Mobile, Alabama, with a big defensive play.
There's where you want to stay out of third and long situations, because now your quarterback, it's more of a deeper drop. You're holding the football longer, and that allows his pass rush for South Carolina to get there. If you can stay in those third and medium situations, the ball's coming out quicker, you get those conversion opportunities.
Sidlotchka to attempt the 45-yard field goal. He is hit from 51. And this one is wide left. So no points on the board for the Wildcats, but they lead by 3, and we will return to Lexington after word from your local stations. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Well, Stephen Garcia in at quarterback, the redshirt freshman out of Tampa, Florida, with his first snap of the afternoon. And he will keep it out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. And
these are some of the special qualities he brings to the dance, Dave. Stephen Garcia had an outstanding day against UAB running the football. Carried it 18 times for 86 yards and a touchdown. And he's a guy that has a tremendous arm as well.
Boy, Mike Davis just missed being dropped for about a 4-yard loss. But he will pick up the first down out near the 40-yard line. But you and I were talking that, you know, Kentucky's had some opportunities here to make this a 10, maybe 14-point advantage, and they haven't done it. They've kept South Carolina hanging around.
Yeah, and Carolina and South Carolina missed a number of opportunities. That's why Smelly's on the sideline. Garcia's in there, and you got to figure at some point South Carolina's going to get a couple of these big shots they've had an opportunity at.
Yeah, they've had guys open. They just haven't been able to connect. So Garcia will line up in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Over the middle, pass is caught by Cook. That'll be another Gamecock first down. So 2 first downs in the drive for Garcia and the Gamecocks after the gain of 11.
Good protection, enough protection for Garcia to find the good fellow Cook over the middle. Cook working one-on-one with Ashton Cobb. Let's go down to Dave Dickerson.
Dave, Steve Spurrier told us that Stephen Garcia just wasn't ready. He doesn't know the coverages and things yet, but as long as he knows what he sees, he can get it done for him. The question is, can he continue in this rhythm, or does Steve Brown in the Kentucky box confuse him with pre-snap looks?
Well, Garcia not confused by this look, and he'll take it down to the 25-yard line and another Gamecock first down.
Well, what's going to happen for Steve Brown now, the defensive coordinators are going to have to adjust how they're playing defense, because now they have a run entity, and you see Jeremy Jarman skate to the inside. He's now going to have to stay outside on the edge to maintain leverage against the running quarterback. Jarman goes inside. Garcia has the ability to pull it down and take off. So now Kentucky going to have to adjust up front a little bit, stay more in their lanes rushing the passer.
Coach Spurrier and the other Coach Spurrier, his son, Steve Jr., they've called some good plays today. It's hard to argue with some of the selections they have made on the field, although they'd like to take that one back. Garcia dropped for a loss.
Sophomore Terrence Campbell, right guard, got pushed back into Garcia, and Garcia tripped over his feet. Good job by Corey Peters pushing from that deep tackle spot. Jeremy Jarman told us yesterday, Dave, that he thought that Corey Peters and Myron Pryor, and he's been around for a while, that those were the 2 best defensive tackles he's seen in a long time playing together.
Second down and 13. Here comes pressure, and Kentucky able to drop Garcia again. One of the guys you just spoke of, Myron Pryor, with the sack.
Clean win, like he was working against Jamin Meredith, the left guard. Just does an out, actually was working against the tackle. Jameel King just shoved him out of the way. The big fella pushed his way to the inside. They overloaded that side. Got two rushers on the tackle.
Jamon Meredith, former tackle, moves inside to guard. Terrell King out there at left tackle now for the Gamecocks. And that's now 20 sacks allowed by South Carolina. Here comes pressure again. Garcia stays on his feet. Wide open is Mike Davis. He'll be shy of the first down. He needed to get it inside the 15. He'll be stopped at the 17 by Robbie McAtee.
Well, tremendous pressure up front. Good job by Braxton Kelly to get in involved. But a good job of Garcia getting out of there. We mentioned that's the dimension he brings. He finds running back Mike Davis leaking out over the middle, and now it's set up Ryan Succop for this opportunity on a field goal.
So Succop, who's missed twice, both times from 50, will now line it up from 35 on the near hash. Stephen Flint with the hold, and looks like somebody on South Carolina might have popped up out of their stance.
Start on the offense, number 93, 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
So that'll make it a 40-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Succop, who came in 11 out of 14, both highs in the SEC in terms of makes and attempts.
He's pulled his first two, Dave. I mean, he's going at it a little too hard. Let's see if he's able to dial it down a little bit. This is just a chip shot for him.
And he misses it wide right. 0 for 3 is Ryan Succop. You don't see that coming. You feel pretty good taking the field with Succop as your kicker, but today he is just off the mark.
Yeah, he pulled the first two that were long, over 50. This time he just didn't go into it as hard. He was trying to guide it through. You see, he doesn't quite attack it quite as hard and just left it out to the right. Looked like one of your drives there. You're hooking it too much.
I wish I could hit it as far as he kicks it. Boy, I tell you what, it's been a tough day for Ryan Succop. But, you know, you saw Coach Spurrier talking to him. Keep his head in the game, because in a situation like this, he might be the difference in the closing moments. 2.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Hartline to throw. Another quick route. Couldn't tell if that was tipped or not, but it was certainly low of its target, which was E.J. Adams.
Well, I think you're right, Dave. I think Darian Stewart has been extremely active as that what they called a spur linebacker, which is really an extra defensive back in the game for Ellis Johnson. Got his hands on the Hartline throw on the slant route.
Handoff goes to Locke. Captain Munnerlyn in on the tackle for South Carolina.
Again, we've seen this a couple times. The weak side option play. Norwood plays off the block of the fullback. John Connor is able to get in on the tackle, but again, Joker Phillips has accomplished what he wanted to. He now has it in a 3rd down and medium situation, which is 4 to 6 yards, and now Hartline can get the ball out of his hands.
Kentucky 1 out of 11 on 3rd down this afternoon. Hartline, plenty of time to throw. Pass is caught and then bobbled. Did South Carolina come up with it? Our back judge says incomplete.
Fourth down.
And that'll bring up a 4th down. E.J. Adams looked like he had it. And Carlos Thomas came in to try to swipe it away.
Well, we mentioned how young this football team is at the wide receiver spot. A good job of Carlos Thomas to come in and strip it out. E.J. Adams is a kid that switched from defensive back to receiver in the spring. Dave, like you talked about, and it's just been, they just can't get any consistency at the receiver spot. Young guys trying to learn on the job.
4th and 4 at the 29. Mass State punt. Hunter Lindy.
4th down and 5 now for the Wildcats. Mass State have punted away. Catch ball with a Captain Munnerlyn backpedal nearly 20 yards to make that catch a 54-yard punt. Be sure to join us next Saturday and join us in the lottery. We're not sure where we're going to go, but you'll find out if you tune in at 12:30 Eastern Time. We'll have either LSU, South Carolina, or Vandy, Georgia. Steve Spurrier's club will host the LSU Tigers or the Georgia Bulldogs. And and the Commodores from Athens. Log on to SECRoadTripPlanner.com and find the quickest routes and all the info you need traveling around the SEC, provided by Regions Bank. Garcia back on the field at quarterback. From the 15. McKinley. Boy, what an outstanding grab. Diving catch, picks up 7, maybe 8.
Boy, it is a spectacular catch. Uncovered in the slot. McKinley just goes to the inside. Ball thrown too far to the inside. McKinley reaches out.
Second down and 2. A lot of options now. Coach Spurrier. See what he does with Stephen Garcia. I'll go with Mike Davis. Breaks the tackle. First down, South Carolina out to the 33. Micah Johnson brings him down, but yet another missed tackle for the boys in blue. Geico is canvassing the country this year to get the fans' input on all the best moments of the 2008 football season. And for tour updates, tour schedules, and your chance to take the Geico Best of 2008 fan poll, check out bestofcollegesports.com.
McKinley right here, Dave. Up on top.
7 catches, 88 yards for Kinney. Boy, a quarterback draw was called and nowhere to run. Ricky Lumpkin, Shane McCord swarm Garcia immediately, and he loses 4 on the play.
And they ran it into a bad defense. Micah Johnson, the middle linebacker, was coming on the blitz. So that was one that they didn't see very well on the sidelines calling plays. Ran it right into the blitz.
And that will do it for the end of the third quarter. Well, after an eventful first half, no points on the board here in the third quarter. It remains a 3-point contest, and 2 teams hoping to stay alive in the SEC East race. Fourth quarter football coming up in our All-Tell Game of the Week on Raycom Sports. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Raycom Sports. This broadcast a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the SEC and Raycom Sports is prohibited. Second down and 14 as we begin the fourth quarter. Garcia to throw deep. Just off the fingertips of Jason Barnes, who had a step on Trevard Lindley. Take a look at our AT&T stats through 3 quarters. Look at the total yards, almost identical, but the 4 South Carolina turnovers all coming in the first half really cost South Carolina, as has the 3 missed opportunities by Suckup.
Well, and you can really call the blocked field goal maybe a turnover as well. That's helped South Carolina. So maybe it's a 4-2 situation if you really want to look at it. But
let's just say they've helped each other.
That's for sure. Here's Kenny McKinley right here.
Timeout taken by Kentucky on a third down and 14, and we'll step aside as well. Back in a moment.
SEC football is brought to you by Toyota. Check out the great Toyota truck lineup today at your Toyota dealer, or log on to Toyota.com to experience Toyota Tundra for yourself. Toyota Tundra, the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And by McDonald's. Start your day with a seriously good Southern-style chicken biscuit, or enjoy your day with a Southern-style chicken sandwich at your nearby McDonald's.
17-14, Kentucky leading. South Carolina looking at a third and 14.
Kenny McKinley.
Garcia goes the other way. Pass is caught. First down. Jason Barnes with a big-time catch for the redshirt freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. 26 big yards.
Well, you talk about, you're exactly right, Dave. Big-time catch because he had to come back to the inside to get the football.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23. The penalties decline. First down.
This is a kid that stepped up big for Coach Spurrier last week. Had 7 catches, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And this is one where he didn't do a very good job of saving room on the sideline, but did a great job of coming back and catching the ball for his quarterback.
Garcia now 4 out of 5 for 64 yards. Garcia. He will run with it. Garcia has played only 2 games. He's the team's second leading rusher.
That tells you a little bit about how they've been able to run it. He had a great day against UAB with 86 yards. But, this is the dimension that he has. He's got a pocket presence about him. He's a young kid that hadn't played a ton, but he has a good feel and is a tremendous athlete.
You can tell by talking to Coach Spurrier that he really wants Garcia to eventually be his guy. I mean, he's given him ample opportunity for some off-field issues.
Right.
And you can see some frustration from Coach Spurrier as well, because the guy's got a load of talent.
Yeah, just clean it up, young man, and you're going to be on the field for one of the really good offensive coaches in the country.
That's Ventrell Jenkins walking off. It's one area that Kentucky has made some substantial strides in, and that is being able to replace somebody. They have some depth on that defensive front, as well as the entire defensive unit. Second down and 4. Here's Garcia. Nowhere to run this time. The third Wildcat sack of the day, and the second for big Myron Pryor, 6'1", 310 pounds, and Coach Spurrier fuming.
Well, Dave, you just talked about the depth of this defensive line. 51 right there. That's Johnny Williams, a linebacker that allows them to provide some pressure. And Myron Pryor gets a sack from the inside, but good pressure off the edge. And the versatility of these great big linebackers. Boy, the front seven of Kentucky is as good as anybody around the country.
15 sacks on the year by this group wearing the blue today. Third down and 10 now. Garcia steps up and throws a rope to his tight end, Wesley Saunders. Well, that's a clutch throw.
Well, Dave, we've mentioned that there's been some receivers open, and Chris Smelly missed them. And this is one that's a little bit tighter coverage, but Garcia's doing a great job. Gets the ball to Wesley Saunders over the middle. Just a well-thrown ball. Winston Guy working one-on-one. The freshman working one-on-one against the big tight end.
Fresh set of downs for the Gamecocks. Looking for Saunders, had the football but hit immediately and lost the handle. Matt Lentz, his safety, knocked the ball out of the possession of Saunders.
Garcia's going to zip this one into Saunders, but Lentz, the safety, falls back with some help from Lindley. Matt Lentz is the guy late, but Lindley's the guy that knocks the ball out of there. The corner does a great job of folding back from his corner spot and knocking it out of there.
So second down and 10 now. Quick drop, pass caught by Barnes. Goes to the 25-yard line. He'll be about 4 yards shy of the first down. David Jones with the tackle for Kentucky. Look at our Academy Sports down and distance marker. Which tells you it's third down and 4. South Carolina, the best team in the conference at converting third downs, has had some trouble today. They got off to a great start, but have now dropped to 6 out of 13. Garcia lobs it up in the air, batting around and incomplete. And now the question begs, do you kick the field goal? Suckup has missed 3 times, and yes, that's the direction Coach Spurrier will go.
He's one of the best in the country, and I think you got to go ahead and let him go ahead and get out there and kick it. You mentioned that when he came to the sideline on his last miss, Dave, that he said, hey, we're going to keep coming. You know, obviously, we're going to keep coming to you. This is your opportunity. Have a chance to tie the football game right here.
Look at our Women of the World scoreboard. 42-yarder. Suckup has missed from 50, 51, and 40. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. And this one sneaks in that left upright. So Suckup finally connects. His 12th field goal made of the year, ties the game at 17. 11:58 to play in Lexington. Stay with us on Raycom Sports. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Take a look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. 12 plays, 60 yards, 42-yard field goal by Ryan Succop. 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, and we are tied at 17, and Succop to kick it off for the Gamecocks. Derek Clark a few yards deep in the end zone. Out to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Well, all season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the SEC. And today we'll talk about the most successful cheerleading school in all of college sports. Kentucky has won an unprecedented 16 national titles. They've won 4 from 1985 through 94 before winning 12 of the last 14, including the 2008 title. Jomo Thompson is the coach, and T-Lynn Williamson is the cheerleader advisor. And that's our champion, How You Play. Congrats to them on all their hard work over the years. So Hartline on 1st and 10. Another quick throw to Locke. That is what Kentucky has done for the most part today. It's a safe throw. Is that what I mean? What are your thoughts about the short passing game?
Well, it's a completable throw. The ball comes out quickly. The ball's out of your hands. We know how good South Carolina is at rushing the passer. They're getting it out of his hands quickly. They're keeping themselves in manageable situations, and it goes right into what Hartline talked about. Joker Phillips, the offensive coordinator there, Hartline talked about, what'd you learn from Andre Woodson last year? He said patience, and that's what this passing game's been today.
That's the other reason we've seen a lot of short passes. Not a lot happening with that Kentucky running game. They have 20 carries, 58 yards as Alfonso Smith picks up a couple. Well, our Polaris ATV's toughest player of the game, and this is a no-brainer for us, Emmanuel Cook.
There is no question that he is the toughest football player on the field. Came in today leading the SEC in solo tackles. He is a kid that will play on Sundays for somebody, and he'll play a lot of years. He has a tremendous feel for the game.
3rd down and 3. Hartline. Swing it near side. Has John Connor the full. He slips at the 30. Connor might have had a chance to pick up the 1st down. He needed to get it out over the 35, but no chance when his cleats gave way.
Now Connor, they slipped Connor out in the flat, and a little surprised that if you're going to free release a back into the flat, that it's not somebody like Alfonso Smith or Derek Locke, someone that can make something happen in the flat. Not that the young man couldn't, but he's not their most fleet guy out in the flat. Tough play for him to catch the ball thrown on his back shoulder as well.
Connor 5'11", 230 pounds. Now Kentucky 1 out of 13 on 3rd down conversions today. Mastay. Wobbly kick. Munnerlyn has a chance to return this one. But a lot of blue jerseys swarm him, so a nice coverage and a nifty return out over the 40-yard line. A 38-yard punt. Sam Maxwell able to bring him down. And with that, timeout on the field with 9:40 to go in the 4th. We're all tied up at 17. .940 to go here in the 4th quarter, all tied up at 17. Pretty much everybody thought this game was going to be a 1, 2, 3-point contest, and that's where we stand right now, all locked up. A good SEC Saturday afternoon clash for you right here on Raycom Sports. Dave Neal, Dave Archer, and Dave Baker. 1st down and 10 for the Gamecocks. Garcia hands it off to Mike Davis, nowhere to run, and Micah Johnson. Niaje Onyenku in on the tackle.
Well, when Stephen Garcia was inserted into the game, they needed a little pep at the quarterback spot. And with Garcia's athleticism to run, get out of the pocket, and create problems for Kentucky in front, slow down the rush just enough for him to touch him down the field. He's made a couple of big-time throws. He's come in and moved the Gamecock offense.
Smelly left after a 9 for 23 performance. Garcia now 6 out of 9. Trying to make it 7 out of 10, but it'll fall incomplete. Mo Brown loses a shoe. That was close to being a spectacular grab on that sideline.
Well, it's a well-thrown football. Really the only place he could throw it. Mo Brown lays out for it, but again, they're trying Trevor Lindley over there, and I don't know. I think you just kind of stay away from that guy over there. Leave him alone and find somebody else to mess with.
Kentucky trying to call a timeout, and that will be their second timeout.
Timeout.
That they have had to burn here in the second half. They'll have one left. Back in a moment. Third down and 12. We are tied at 17. Garcia passes caught by Jason Barnes. First down, Gamecocks. And another solid throw from the redshirt freshman quarterback.
Well, there's challenging Stephen Garcia, just a three-man rush from Kentucky, which gives Garcia all the time and vision to throw. He shoots it to the inside to Jason Barnes. Nice little combination route here. One guy clearing. Barnes comes back into the inside. And a well-thrown ball in the hole by Garcia.
Chris Smelly got the start. Just wasn't his day. But Stephen Garcia has come off the bench and looked very sharp in the passing game. Mike Davis looked like he had a crease for a fraction, might have stumbled, and then Myron Pryor makes the stop. Pryor with a couple of sacks today.
Well, this defensive line, Dave, has been all we thought it was going to be. The two interior guys, Pryor and Peters. Jenkins and Jarman on the outside, sprinkling a couple of other defenders. Unbelievable up front.
You know, both these teams have discussed with us at length about trying to get this running game going, and this isn't the week.
Now they pick two defensive lines. You're not going to do that again.
Four-man front from Kentucky, and now South Carolina will take a timeout on a second down and 12.
South Carolina, first timeout this half. This is a 30-second timeout.
That'll give us an opportunity to tell you about this football season. It's all about you, 10 friends, and a private jet. We're going to borrow Dave Archer's plane and enter the Alltel My Circle Gridiron getaway for your chance to take 10 friends on a private jet to any regular season game. It's the ultimate VIP experience. Now for your chance to win, text GAME, G-A-M-E, to 57533 or visit alltelfootball.com. Steve Spurrier has never lost to Kentucky. He's 15-0 against this Wildcat team, and now he's trying to capture his 100th SEC victory as a Southeastern Conference coach. And when you begin to look at the numbers, that is some lofty company. You know, getting ready for this game, you start looking at those numbers and you forget the kind of company he's keeping in terms of SEC wins. Nobody will touch the Bear, but my goodness.
Yeah, he's as good as it gets. And he's done it for a long time. That tells you how great he is when you can do it over a number of years.
Here's Garcia. That's been his route today, and it works again. Inside the 10 goes Jason Barnes. How about the throw from Garcia as the Gamecocks pick up 38?
Well, you said it, Dave. This is a spectacular throw. He's working against Robbie McAtee, the extra defensive back, the nickel back in the game. Barnes is 6'4", 204, and McAtee 5'10", 175. Little size differential. It looked like that Barnes used the left arm like a big guy will. And a big-time throw, like you said. He dropped it right down the chimney to him.
Well, coming out of high school at Jefferson High down in Tampa, this young man was considered one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country, threw for over 8,000 yards. And he will add to his touchdown throwing prowess here at South Carolina. Wesley Saunders. And the Gamecocks have the lead.
South Carolina rushed to the line of scrimmage. Kentucky had a tough time lining up. They did not find Saunders in the coverage. And credit the young quarterback for seeing the mismatch. Nobody picked him up, and he found him right now. Boy, that's great recognition for a young quarterback to see who's uncovered. And Kentucky did not have a defender to take care of the tight end.
It just looked like UK just was not ready. Here's Ryan Suckup with the point after. It's up and good. And 10 quick points by the Gamecock offense has elevated South Carolina to this touchdown advantage.
Well, Dave, you had a feeling as this game kind of unfolded that South Carolina was smelling quarterback. They missed a number of opportunities. But Garcia coming into the game here in this latter part of the football game has looked tremendous. And you just knew that at some point they were going to hit some. And they hit the long throw to Barnes, and now the touchdown to Saunders. Let's go to Dave Baker.
Arch, you could see this coming at least from down here on the sidelines. Earlier in the game, Rich Brooks took out Micah Johnson, the linebacker who's called was setting the Kentucky defense. Johnson has been out for most of the last month with a high ankle sprain. And the reason he took him out was earlier in the game when South Carolina was running that sugar huddle, Kentucky got caught flat-footed. What was happening was Johnson was coming over. He was coming all the way over the hash mark to get the signals, and that's basically what happened there. They didn't expect South Carolina to get up there that quickly, and they just reacted to it very poorly.
Look at our Texas Pete scoring drive. 58 yards, capped off by the 8-yard touchdown reception from Wesley Saunders, his first touchdown reception of the season. Kickoff sails well deep into the end zone. Go to raycomsports.com for a variety of SEC football highlights and features, archive video, sweepstakes, podcast, and information on our SEC Game of the Week. raycomsports.com, your link on the web to the SEC. There's Kenny McKinley. Looks like he might have a little hand. Remember, he missed some games with that hamstring.
Yeah, that ice on the back of the neck, Dave, tells me cramps. He's cramping up. And it is a lot warmer than when you got up this morning. Pretty nice, pretty comfortable, but it has gotten warm here in Lexington.
Now Kentucky's offense needs to start moving the football. Hartline 22 out of 34 for 147 yards. A rare throw over 15 yards, incomplete, looking for Matt Rourke. Let's go back to that touchdown for a moment.
Well, Dave, here's the hole. Dave Baker just talked about Micah Johnson going over to get a call. He's not in there. That's where the linebacker would be. And the young quarterback saw it and immediately shot it to Saunders for the touchdown.
And they went unbalanced. Saunders lines up really at a tackle spot. And nobody over there. Good play call. I'll tell you what, Steve Spurrier has been on the mark today, in my opinion, with some of his calls. Handoff goes to Alfonso Smith. Not much happening as we look at our Woodmen of the World scores. And Vandy and Mississippi State just underway, and the Bulldogs with a 3-0 advantage early.
Somebody's got to find a way to slow down the Sooners, don't they?
How about Michigan? Boy, they hurt. They lose by 3 to Toledo. Hartline. Pass sails as he got hit as he threw it. Pressure came from Jordan Lindsay.
Yeah, that's all Lindsay, too. Does a nice job of getting into the quarterback just as he's letting it go. And the ball sails well over the receiver's head. So good pressure. Lindsay's had a nice day. Blocked the field goal that Munderland returned for a touchdown. Had 4 tackles, a sack, another pressure there. Had an outstanding day.
Captain Munderland back to return the kick. And he'll have a chance. Bobbles the football and holds on to it.
Fielded by Munderland.
33-yard punt. We mentioned Steve Spurrier has had the number of this Kentucky team and winning 15 in a row, never losing to Kentucky, but one game in '93 was pretty interesting. That's when Danny Werfel, a freshman quarterback, hit walk-on Chris Doering for the touchdown on 3rd and 10 with 3 seconds left for the 24-20 win.
Let's see, and that's the quarterback that every quarterback that plays for Steve Spurrier has to measure up to. It's pretty tough measuring.
Here's Mike Davis fighting hard for about 4 yards. Now, if you're South Carolina, you've had the success lately throwing the football. Your running game hasn't really been there, but you're trying to chew up the clock. How much do you rely on the running game here? Do you just go with it and hope it works?
No, I think that you do what you did there. You go ahead and try it. You know, again, probe with the run, but you're still going to use your short passing game. Look for Kenny McKinley. Be involved. Of course, Kenny's on the sideline, so somebody else is going to have to step up. We saw Kenny's having some cramp problems, so somebody else will have to step up. But they'll try to eat some clock a little bit here.
2nd down and 5. Here's Davis. He will fall forward for maybe 2 on the play. That'll set up a 3rd down situation. This is where Kentucky's going to have to get off the field. Give their offense a chance here.
Well, you said it. That's what Steve Brown told us yesterday. What are the numbers you look at defensively? And he says 3rd down, get off the field. He preaches it to his defense, get off the field. Now, Kenny McKinley is back in the game now for Steve Spurrier.
McKinley lines up in the slot. They got man coverage here on the near side. Lindley is locked up on McKinley. Jones also in man coverage. They'll go the other way with it, and the pass is caught for a big gain down to the 30-yard line. And how about South Carolina's Stephen Garcia? Joe Hills will get credit for the catch, but another solid throw from Garcia.
And it's a good read, Dave. You talked about the man coverage situation. He found the one-on-one matchup. Joe Hills on the backside away from Trevard Lindley. We've talked about how good he's been at corner. He's matched up on Kenny McKinley, so they're throwing away from it. And a good job of getting the 1st down. Joe Hills gets some inside on the slant.
Garcia 10 out of 14 for 169 yards. Davis will take it down to the 25-yard line. Let's go check in with Dave Baker.
Arch, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think what's happened to the tone and tenor of this game since Stephen Garcia has come in. Steve Brown talked to us about liking to play that press zone and getting up. But what's happened is Garcia has run the ball so effectively, I think he's had to back his defensive backs off the line of scrimmage, and that's allowed those slant passes with a free release that are easy throws for a guy like Garcia.
Well, he's come in sharp, but the ability for him to move shouldn't have backed the defensive backs off. It should have tempered the rush a little bit. And I think that's what it's done. There's not as much pressure on Garcia.
Here's Davis. On 2nd down and 4, he'll pick up 3 and bring up a 3rd down and 1. Ventrell Jenkins will get credit for the tackle. But this is a quick hurry up to the line of scrimmage for the Gamecocks. Garcia bouncing around. That's going to be close to the 1st down. I don't know if we got it or not. He looks to be about a half a yard shy of our 1st and 10 line. And he will be shy. So 4th down.
Big Justin Sorensen, young man that started 25 consecutive games at tackle, limps off the field. The big right tackle. Myron Pryor slow to get up for the Wildcats.
Mountain. See our timeout situation. Kentucky's had to burn 2 already this half, and with the new 40-second clock, keeping your timeouts in a close ball game until the very end, highly critical. Now a 4th down situation and short. And Stephen Garcia going to come back into the huddle.
Well, I think that you're looking at probably another quarterback sneak here. I think that South Carolina was disturbed at the way Garcia slid to the outside. They wanted to go straight ahead. That was part of the conversation. But they're going to run as much clock as they can and burn a timeout. Maybe at that point you see Succop for a field goal.
I was going to say, you put 3 on the board right here, and you pretty much salt this thing away. But Succop today just 1 out of 4.
South Carolina, 2nd timeout this half.
And if you can pick up the first down,
30-second timeout.
you don't even need to worry about it.
I think I would send my field goal unit in here. She kick the field goal and try to make it a 2-score game.
Take a look at our Hampton Hotel's upcoming schedule, and of course South Carolina will head back home, and what awaits them is LSU, and then it's off on the road again to Tennessee, and then Arkansas, and then Florida and Clemson. For Rich Brooks and his Wildcats, they will stay home and take on Arkansas. Then they head down to the Swamp to meet the Gators.
It just doesn't get any easier for any of these teams. You know, you mentioned LSU. LSU obviously playing the Gators on the road, and now then they'd have to go to South Carolina to play. It just doesn't get any. I don't care who you are. It doesn't get any easier.
And here comes Ryan Suckup. Yeah, he's had a bad day today, but you know what? He's about as good as it comes, and he will now try to salt this thing away from 39 yards away. And he didn't do it. Ryan Suckup is now 1 out of 5. And Kentucky will have the football with 2:13 to play. 1 timeout remaining, and this drive will start at the 21-yard line. It is just a mental game with Ryan at this point.
No question about it. His confidence is just shot. And you can bet the next time Steve has a chance to inside 4th and 1, he's going to go for it.
So here's Hartline. It will set up a screen. South Carolina read it well. Well, they've got some speed out there that can cover some ground. Locke brought down by Marvin Sapp.
Well, you said it. What great speed by Sapp from the linebacker spot to track Locke down. That's his 7th tackle of the day.
After the gain of 5, Hartline will throw again. Over the middle, off the fingertips of a wide-open T.C. Drake. He would have been well into South Carolina territory.
Dave, that's what all those little short passes do. All of a sudden, those linebackers start sucking up on those short throws. They're looking for underneath stuff, and here's Drake right down through the middle. Mistimed his jump, really. Kind of surprised, I guess, the ball came at him. And Hartline realizes, whoa. It's still a 3rd and 4 situation. Joker Phillips done a great job of keeping in these situations.
That pass knocked away at the last moment by Captain Munnerlyn. Intended for Maurice Grinter, and that'll bring up 4th down and 5.
He's going to turn out the slot receiver to the outside. Munnerlyn's reading the play. He's in charge of flat. Comes off of his outside receiver and comes in and bangs on Grinter and knocks it out of there.
Well, this is your ball game if they can't pick up the 5 yards.
You got to figure at some point it's either Randall Cobb, Dave, who's in the slot, or Derek Locke, who's in the backfield. Here's Randall Cobb right here.
And remember, Dickie Lyons is out with a knee injury, the guy that came in with over 30 receptions this year. And that may be against South Carolina, and that should be good enough for a 1st down.
Prior to the snap, substitution infraction on the defense, 12 men in the formation. The penalty is 5 yards. That will result in a 1st down.
How about that?
They ran on 2 defensive linemen and only 1 came off.
There's a gift.
Wow, you're telling me.
So 1st down and 10. Kentucky keeps their timeout. Hartline lofts it up. Batted away at the last moment by Captain Munnerlyn. Adeyemi was the intended receiver. The crowd and Rich Brooks wanted a flag on pass interference. Will not get it, and that brings up 2nd down.
Dave, it's a good read, but it's just underthrown. The ball's underthrown, and it hits Munnerlyn really in the back. The ball's knocked down. The ball, if he can get the ball out a little bit quicker, he's got a chance.
Hartline, 23 out of 40. 152 yards. Hartline steps up in the pocket. Pass is picked off and then dropped. Stoney Woodson dropped it.
And that's another play on Hartline. He overthrew him. He's trying to dink it to Locke underneath, and he just kind of flips it over his head. No chance for Locke. And really a drop by Stoney Woodson, who could have ended the football game right here. I think you really have to try it. Hartline has got to try to find Randall Cobb. He was open down through the middle in the last play. He's right here.
Hartline steps up, fires, incomplete. Now Kentucky is 1 out of 15 today, 1 out of 16 on third down conversions. And now they'll have to go for it on fourth down and 10.
Well, and that incompletion hurt them because now it's 4th and 10. They did a nice job of staying in those short yardage situations. Although he had not converted them, they've been in a good situation. Now 3rd and long. That front four can tee off and come get him.
Well, this has been a strange afternoon. Will that strangeness continue and Kentucky keep this drive alive on fourth down and 10? Four-man rush. Lost it up over the middle, and this time Chris Culliver has the interception, his second of the afternoon, and he steps out of bounds at the 23-yard line, and there's your ball game. And Steve Spurrier's streak of wins over Kentucky will now go to 16.
The big fella Maurice Grinner, the tight end that Hartline was trying to get the ball to. Just 2 deep safeties. He's going to try to push it down the middle of the field to the tight end. Well covered. Good job by Dorian Stewart. We've mentioned his name a number of times today, covering that vertical receiver down through the middle of the field, and the ball tipped in the air, and Culliver makes the interception, his second of the day.
Culliver today with 2 interceptions, 8 tackles, and Steve Spurrier will walk out of Lexington with another victory.
Well, you think back to some of the players that Kentucky's lost to graduation, Dave, and that route there is run by Jacob Tammy down through the middle. It's seen it a number of times, and Stevie Johnson not here. But Grinner made a great effort, but he was covered. Forced it into coverage.
There was Dickie Lyons walking on that sidelines, and Grinter will be helped off the field. And Steve Spurrier, unless something dramatic happens here in the final 73 seconds, will pick up his 100th Southeastern Conference win. Quite an accomplishment.
And it will be the 9th win in a row for South Carolina over Kentucky. South Carolina themselves are now 12-5 since 1992 when they started playing this series every year.
How about Texas? A back-and-forth game. They come out on top of Oklahoma. The Red River Shootout, certainly a shootout today. And nothing Kentucky can do. They can stop at one time if they want, but I got to tell you this. If there was not, you hate to say one guy wins you a game, but I got to tell you that if Stephen Garcia doesn't come on the field, who knows what's going to happen. But I tell you this, the chances aren't as great to win this game.
Couldn't agree with you more. Stephen Garcia came in, lit a charge into this team. First of all, by his ability to move in the pocket, slowed the rush for Kentucky down, and then he started taking his shots down the field. Young man Jason Barnes stepped up at the receiver spot, made a couple of big grabs for him, and then he found the tight end Saunders for the touchdown. So he was nothing but a positive for this team from a spark standpoint first, and then the way he executed playing quarterback.
So Garcia comes off the bench as Maurice Grinter will be taken back into the locker room. Hope he's okay. Steve Spurrier will be thankful to get out of here with a win today. Gamecocks will go to 5-2, 2-2 in SEC play. Kentucky drops to 4-2, 0-2. And Steve Spurrier with his 100th career SEC victory. We will come back to Lexington, put a wrap on things, where the Gamecocks win it by 7. Our principal financial players of the game, Steven Garcia off the bench, goes 10 out of 14, and Trevard Lindley with an interception return for a touchdown. South Carolina wins it. We'll come back right after this. 12:30 next week. We don't know where we'll be, but we'll know it'll be a good game. You've been watching Raycom Sports' exclusive coverage of SEC football.